Finding that perfect person to date is not easy, so a lot of people turn to online dating. Relationship expert Jennifer Stiers is here this morning with a warning about an increasing amount of fraud in online dating and how you can protect yourself. Jen's a friend of mine. Glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
So,
glad to be here.
You were telling me over the weekend that the biggest thing going on right now in online dating is fraud, and start with money. What's the deal?
Well, I mean, it's been happening for a while, but it's on the increase, obviously. Online dating, online anything, I mean, social media even puts people in a position of vulnerability. And so what's happening is people are getting online and meeting somebody, romancing them pretty quickly, and then asking for money. For like, I'm taking off on a trip, I need this or I need that, or I need you to wire me money, and it's happening a lot.
And it's because people are vulnerable that they will give in to it.
Absolutely, they're vulnerable. I mean, love is a vulnerable place anyway, but people that are getting out into the dating scene, I mean, what they want is to find love, and they sometimes don't realize that this risk is out there, and it's out there.
And then you were telling me about a story involving sex fraud, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people with not such great intentions online, and I knew a guy that actually had a whole scheme planned to get girls to come to his house. So versus meeting at a restaurant, which they should do, he would have them come to the house and say, well, we'll drive together. But meanwhile, he had a video playing that he knew would kind of suck the girls in, gave them wine, and 8 times out of 10, they never left the house.
And again, because of vulnerability.
Not really the woman not really knowing what to do, probably like, I don't really want to come in, but okay, you need to finish getting ready, and that's what he would do, and then stick him in front of the TV with wine. And I mean, he had it all planned out, and that was his intention. Like he really enjoyed the conquest.
So, question, are there sites where, let's say, there are different fees for different sites? Are sites where you pay more safer?
Well, I think anytime somebody has to invest something, it definitely shows their level of commitment. The amount they're willing to invest shows that they're a little bit more committed. Free is free. I mean, there's no risk, right? It's the same thing with everything in life.
So let's say that you get online and you're talking with people and you're messaging back and forth. Are there red flags that you can look for in those conversations that are like, oops, better be careful with this one?
Absolutely. I mean, I think anytime we're online and we're chatting with somebody, if somebody doesn't have that urge to meet us, they just want to text, they don't want to call, they don't want to meet us in person, putting off that initial meeting is definitely a red flag. And I think the biggest thing, Jane, especially that women do, is they ignore their intuition. And I think anything that makes us feel uncomfortable, whether that be send a dirty picture, anything that crosses the line or a boundary for us, which would mean we would need to know our boundaries. But we should listen to our intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Trust that.
Okay, and you have a couple of ways to protect yourself.
Well, I do. I think first and foremost, I think the way to protect yourself is know, first of all, who you are, what you're looking for, and what you're willing to put up with. As far as a date and boundaries, right?
Right.
So if you know yourself, it helps the process around a lot more. Like you can get 200, if you're a beautiful woman, you can get 200 responses in a day. How do you read through all those emails? Well, you have to know what you're looking for, and I think that's important. But asking questions. I mean, asking questions and listening to the answer, that's the key to everything. People tell you what you need to know.
And you also suggest that you go Google the person immediately.
Well, I think you can background check anybody. There's a million background check, services, and you Google somebody, things come up. I mean, this is a world, everything's out there. So we can find anything out that we need to, but women really, really need to protect themselves.
Okay, and real quickly, you're also a matchmaker.
I am.
Is using a matchmaker, is there an advantage in that? I mean, obviously you're a little bit biased, but what's the advantage?
Well, I don't think everybody needs a matchmaker, but the advantage is that here's why people don't find love. They choose the wrong people. So what a matchmaker can do is help you choose the right people and then coach you through the process. If they are also a coach, help you coach through the process of dating and doing the right things and making the right decisions. So that's really what's important, is that decision to what are we choosing in regards to love.
Okay, you also have some ideas about where you can meet people offline, and I'm going to have you back on and we're going to talk about that.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, all right. You can go to lovejen.com to check out more of Jen's great tips and sign up for some of her fun dating events.